Give me dope, Joanna. Dope, marijuana, give me dope, Joanna, till the morning comes. Oh, is that thing on? Hey everybody, and Merry Christmas, of course. Welcome to a brand new CurseStudio tutorial. It will not really be a tutorial, it will more be like a comparsion, to be honest. And we will be putting a lot of famous render engines to the test today and see what in a, let's say, a little bit more complicated scene, what kind of results we are getting. And yeah, this is what we will be testing today. And I will also tell you a little bit something about every single render engine that we will be using. Also a little bit about the background, about how the rendering works and stuff like that. So you then can consider in the end what you want to use, depending on if you are a freelancer or if you are a company, a bigger one or a smaller one or whatsoever. Because every single engine that we will be talking about has their pros and has their cons, of course. So yeah, so what we are looking at today is we will look at Vray. I think Vray is at the moment at 340 euros. It's an annual license, so you have to pay this once a year, but I think the price is still okay, to be honest. Then we have, before I say anything else, Chaos Group did take over Vray for Cinema 4D, so it's not longer third-party developed by Lab, which is an Austrian company, which was led by Stefan Laub, of course. I also had a little talk with him because I know him. I had a few beers with him in the past, and I asked him what happened, and he just said it was the perfect point in time to give this back to Chaos Group because he doesn't want to be involved anymore. It also was, I guess, a lot of work. He didn't really say that, but I guess it was really a lot of work, so he's really happy that he can focus now on different things. So yeah, Vray is now developed officially by Chaos Group, and we will see where this leads. So Vray 3.7 is out for Cinema 4D, which is really, really cool. And yeah, 340 euros, as I said, is just nice. Then we have Corona Render. Corona Render is now also part of Chaos Group. So Chaos Group did buy Corona, probably for a huge amount. I don't know how many millions did it pay, but yeah, for sure some, I guess. And yeah, as you can see, Corona is still for free because it's still in an alpha or beta stage for Cinema 4D, so you can use it for free. At some point you probably have to pay for it, and as you can see in the 3D Max version is for 3 floating licenses. I don't know, I don't think there is a single license that you can buy, but you can rent it for 25 bucks a month, which means, or 25 euro a month, which means around 300 euro a year for 3 render nodes, which is kind of really, really nice. Okay, then the next one we have is Redshift. Redshift comes for 500 bucks a license, so $500. Includes 1 year of updates. Afterwards, after this year, you probably have to upgrade and pay for it, I guess. So yeah, but I think $500 is definitely okay for Redshift. Then the next one we will be looking at is Maxwell Render. They have a minus 30% offer right now. So the normal price would be 695, which I think is a little bit too high. But right now it only comes for 486.50 euros, which is okay. Maxwell is for me still one of the best render engines out there. Really, really underrated. Problem with Maxwell is it's really, really slow, but it's really, really good as well. But yeah, that is Maxwell. Then the next one we'll be considering is, of course, Otoy's Octane renderer that I did push a lot in the past. We will see how Octane will be performing today in this render test. If you want to have the standalone and the plugin, you pay 699 bucks. I think this is a little bit high. Somebody was on heroin probably when he did make up this price. But yeah, if you're willing to pay $700, then this is what you get. And also you only have 12 months all access. I guess afterwards you probably have to pay for updates and so on and so on. The next engine we will be looking at is Indigo renderer. Not a lot of people talk about it. It's a really, really good engine. It's really, really nice. I love it, to be honest. Indigo is a little bit between GPU and CPU, so you can use both worlds probably and bring them together. Indigo also works with RTE cards, so you don't have to you don't need to have a Nvidia card. You can also work with ATI, which is pretty nice. I think the calculations happens in some kind of OpenGL based, and OpenGL ATI was always faster than Nvidia, so that's also pretty great. And as I said, you can use CPU and GPU together to calculate the images. And yeah, we will see what Indigo can do for us. It's definitely an awesome engine, and I think it's really underrated. The next one we have is Thea. I'm not sure if I'm from Austria, probably saying Thea. The rest of this comparsion, probably Thea or something like that. I don't know. And if you want to buy Thea, I think it's right now $495, and only for this version that is out right now. As soon as a new this is Thea 2.0. As soon as a 3.0 comes out, you have to pay again. So, or probably have to pay for an upgrade. We will see what Thea can do for us. It's also, I think, a little bit of an underrated engine probably, but we will see what we can do with it. And then here last we have Arnold renderer, which is of course probably famous because it got used in a lot of Hollywood movies. The good thing about Arnold is it's not really that fast. It's an unbiased engine, CPU based, kinda slow, kinda accurate as well. Even though no unbiased engine is 100% accurate, it's just simply not possible because of the algorithm that is working in the background and stuff like that. You get some kind of an accurate result, but not any engine is really giving you a 100% correct result. Also because of the speed ups that are implemented in the render engines and stuff like that. Because otherwise this would just simply render forever. 670 euro right now for 1 year, so you can rent it. Also a little bit of a higher price. But Arnold can do a lot of stuff for you, even if you're a bigger company, stuff like that. It can push through so much geometry, so much hairs, so much lights and stuff like that, and will not give up. So that's really the really nice thing about Arnold, and this is also why a lot of the big studios are using it. Yeah, so that's it. This is what we will be looking at today, and I think we can jump right in. As you can see, everything is set up already. Let me open up the Vray file first. So we'll start out with Vray, and I will grab myself, I think, a cigarette. Actually, I need to roll up one. And I swear it's really a normal cigarette. But yeah, I have to save some money because I'm such a poor guy at the moment. Not even my mother gave me a Christmas present. Can you imagine that? Not even a Christmas present for my own mother. Not even for my father. But instead my father told me that he will be on a nice vacation. That was really nice to hear, that he will be having a great vacation and that I don't get a Christmas present. But Christmas is not about the presents. It's all about love, right? No, that's not true. It's all about the presents actually. Okay, but anyway. So here we have the scene. Every scene for every render engine is set up exactly the same, and all the materials are fully reflective, so there is no roughness on them whatsoever. And yeah, simply normal glass material always has in all the render engines an IOR of 1.56 actually, and yeah, the rest is just simply white diffuse material here with a value, RGB value of 225, 225, 225. Which is kind of weird. I think it should be 220 actually. Sorry, I don't know what is in Vray differently. But good that I know. Okay, 220, 220 and 220. Let me save that. And the green values here are... Oh, I'm in the refraction layer. What the hell? This is why. Okay, RGB, as you can see, 30, 190 and 30. Let me check the white one again. Maybe I was also in a different channel here. I don't know. Okay, everything is fine now. And the red one does have those values, 190, 30 and 30. So perfect red, perfect green, perfect white, basically. And yeah, we will just simply see what this will be doing. We will run through a lot of tests, and in the end we will see which engine is the best, probably for the normal freelancer, maybe also for bigger companies. Those scenes will get harder and harder after time. I will give them a little bit more to work on and stuff like that. But I think for now we can just simply start, and let me reset here the subdivisions. I think this is the only thing that I changed. Let me check this back to 8. And we will leave everything how it comes out of the box, and we will render in 1200 by 1200, and everything else will be just as it comes. Brute force light cache is dialed in. We will also work with caustics, because with some unbiased engines we will be working on, it's not possible to disable the caustics at all. So to give this a little bit more of a fairer chance, we will enable the caustics everywhere, just to have a little bit more of an accurate result. So here we go. Here's Vray. Progressive rendering is turned on. Minimum shading rate is 6. Everything is fine. Anti-aliasing filter like this. Image sample like this. This should also be the normal starting values. Yes, they are. And let's just simply go to render to picture viewer, and we will see what we get. All the caustics are enabled, and as you can see here, photon subdivisions, caustic subdivisions, nothing has changed here. So these are the normal values that we would start out with. And as you can see here, this doesn't look too good. We definitely would need to have more subdivisions over here. That's not really good. And I think we will just simply let this render till we see that there is no noise in the image anymore, till we can live with it, and then we'll just simply stop the time. But like I said, the problem here is really that we don't have enough subdivisions here, so that's not good, to be honest. Okay, but already starts looking really good, and if it takes a little bit long, I will definitely stop the video to see when we get a clear result, and then I will just simply show you what kind of time we have here on the clock. Yeah, I already like that, to be honest. Already starts to looking really good, and I think the noise is gone. I think we can just, maybe at 120 or something like that, we could turn it off. Looks pretty good to me. Alright, 120 for that image, not bad. Let's have a closer look. We have enough reflection depth, as you can see, because the cube is reflecting in there, this cube is reflecting in there, then the sphere is reflecting the light that is coming and also generating caustics, and the sphere is reflecting in there, and even the reflection of the light is also produced in here, in this reflection right there. So we have enough reflection depth here. The image seems to be noise free, looks pretty good. I also did activate some layers to see at the noise. As you can see in the light, we would still have some noise. But in this mode, Vray is considering all the subdivisions for the materials, for the lights, and so on, for the GI, and so on, all by itself. And so, yeah, this is just simply what Vray does in this mode, so we don't need to change anything. As you can see, it comes out pretty clean. Maybe we still have here a little bit of noise, and also here maybe a little bit of noise, but overall, I think I'm satisfied. Yeah, maybe 2 minutes of rendering would be better. But what we really need to do is now we need to up the subdivisions, the caustic subdivisions, because this doesn't really look good. And let's maybe try it here with 5000 for now. And let's go render to picture viewer and let's see what we get actually. And this was a render time of 123. Let me just dial this in here. So Vray 123 actually. Okay, and the next one, as you can see, already calculating the photon map or the caustics map, and now starts to render with the progressive rendering. And as you can see, this looks now way better. I think we're still not there, to be honest. With 5000 subdivisions, this is still too noisy, I guess. So we probably need to put in a little bit more here. And also, I'm not fully satisfied with the anti-aliasing here, as you can see, because this is still, we still have this stare effect right there. And if you look here at the layers, at the sample rate, I'm not sure how anti-aliasing really gets calculated here in the progressive rendering. But as you can see here, we have really this step stare effect, which is not really good. We would need to get rid of this at some point to get a really absolute awesome image. But let's look at this rendering, and as you can see, this is way better up there, but still extremely noisy. So you can see that's still not good enough. I think we would need to have more subdivisions here. And by the way, for the caustics, everything is set to default. So if you go here to caustics, it's just on, multiplier is 1. A multiplier just simply changes how bright the caustics are really is. If everything is really like super bright in your image and your caustics just looking way too dark, then you can use this multiplier to make them a little bit brighter. Search distance, normally you can leave at default. It will just simply consider a bigger radius where to search for the caustics. And max photons you can also leave as it is, because it doesn't really change much. It will just simply send more photons to find the caustics in the scene. Not really necessary for the shot, so I think with 60 we're just fine. So the only thing we really need to consider are the caustic subdivisions here. And yeah, we also need to think about that. We also need some good render time here, honestly. And so yeah. Okay, still rendering. I don't know how many passes this actually will do. Probably 1024 or more. I don't know. Progressive rendering. I think it will depend on. Okay, max render time is here set to 5 minutes. So this will be. When the max subdivisions are reached, I think they will just simply stop, or at 5 minutes actually. So we will just look at this till it stops. I think it should be finished soon. But like I said, I'm not satisfied with that up there. We probably need something around 15,000 or 20,000 subdivisions to make this completely clean. And this will then definitely take some time to calculate for Vray. But also you need to consider that we also have a really completely clean image, which is kind of nice. So as you can see, from 1 minute and 23 here, we got up to 3 minutes. Yeah, probably something around 4 minutes, I guess. The passes are going now really fast. So we should soon reach the end here. Okay. And Vray is, by the way, and you can tell that already, is a biased engine, as you can see, because you have a lot of buttons. If you ever wonder if you're working with an unbiased engine or a biased engine, the more buttons you have, it's probably a biased engine. The less buttons you have, it's probably an unbiased engine. Because if you look at some of the unbiased engines that are out there, they have so less options which you can, where you can put in values in and stuff like that. So there is not really a lot that you can do to speed up things. This is why biased engines are really good as well, because you can speed up a lot of stuff. You can type in a lot of numbers to speed it up, and so on and so on. Sometimes even biased engines will give you a more accurate result than an unbiased engine, and vice versa, of course. So never say that a biased engine will not give you a realistic result or whatever. It's definitely the artist that achieves a realistic result in the end, and it's not the engine, really. Not in the year 2018 and soon 2019. So as you can see, this is what we're getting at 4 minutes and 33 seconds. And as I said, we still need more subdivisions here. I did already some tests here, and I know that 20,000 subdivisions is probably the way to go to really make this look good. So let's go to render to picture viewer. The thing what really needs some time here now is actually calculating the caustics photon map, and then also considering the subdivisions for those caustics. This is why it takes so long. I will just pause the video here and turn it back on when this render is finished, and then we'll have a look at the render times. And then we will also switch from progressive rendering to the old bucket rendering and see what times we are getting there. Okay, so this is what we're getting after 7 minutes and 51 seconds. It just simply stopped there because probably the limit was reached, or the time limit was reached. I don't know exactly, to be honest. This should have come out way cleaner, but alone the calculating of the caustics took almost 6 minutes or something like that. So that really sucked. So, and I think the render time also would go through the roof with the calculation and stuff like that. So something between 10 to 15 minutes, I guess, for a rendering is probably a little bit too much. So I think we will skip this step here and maybe go back here to something like 5,000 subdivisions, and we will just simply turn on the bucket renderer now and see how fast this is compared to the last render we did here with 5,000. Yeah, I want to delete that, and this we rename with progressive and 5000 subdivisions, and this took 4 minutes and 33 seconds. And let's see what the bucket renderer does for us now. If this is a faster result. Right now it looks extremely fast, that's for sure. Oh, let me check some settings before I really do here anything for the bucket renderer. No, everything is fine. This is all as it comes out of the box. Mean subdivisions 1, max subdivisions 20, a threshold at 0.01. And all the other subdivisions are getting determined by Vray itself for materials and stuff like that. We can also look at the layers here a little bit to see what it's doing. It's applying some anti-aliasing, as you can see here in the sample rate. Here extreme much anti-aliasing on the reflection of the light, I think, or of the caustics here. Let's see how the caustics look. As you can see, kind of noisy, of course, with 5000 samples. GI is not completely noise free, but I think on the final image it will be. And reflection looks pretty clean, completely clean. Refraction as well. Lightning probably a little bit noisy, I guess. Yeah. Oh, no, it's not that noisy. It's not that noisy at all, actually, which is kind of nice. This means the only thing where we still have some noise left is the GI, actually, and the caustics. As you can see, there are a lot more caustics that we have seen before, like here on this wall, here on the ceiling, here on the floor, and so on and so on. Okay, so let's look at our image and let's see what render time we get. This is almost the same quality. I think it's a little bit different calculated, but almost the same. And we get a render time of, let's call this bucket, 5000 subdivisions in the caustics, and we get a render time of 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which is pretty good. Let's compare this up here a little bit more. Well, it looks almost the same. Yeah. So the bucket renderer is here in this scene way faster than a progressive renderer. Till it stops. Also because, I mean, we could also limit, of course, the progressive renderer and stop it maybe also at 2 minutes 13 and see what we get in the end. But I think I like that. And let me up this now here to 10,000 with the bucket renderer, and let's see what time we get with the bucket renderer here. We'll just stop the video and turn it back on when this has finished. Alright, so this render did finish after 3 minutes and 27 seconds, and it's definitely way cleaner than before, as you can see. Definitely way cleaner. We could also make here an A-B comparsion. Let me give this here the B, and let me give this here the A, and then we could just simply use this slider here. And what's going on? Come on, AB, yeah, thanks. As you can see, there is really a lot of difference here. Everything else is completely the same, but here up there it changes. I think we still need more subdivisions. Like I said, I think 20,000 would be fine to make this absolutely clean. We could make a final render test maybe to see how much time it would need to make it completely clean. I will just make this now quickly with 20,000 subdivisions and then show you the final result. Okay, alright, so this is the final image that we get with Vray, with caustics turned on, and now it's really clean, I think. If you zoom in there, maybe we could still up a little bit more, but I think for me it's good enough. As you can see, this is how we started out with 1000 subdivisions. This is then with the bucket render at 5000 subdivisions, also with the Pro, with the progressive renderer. 5000 subdivisions. This is then, I think this was with 10,000. So let's type in here 10,000, and this is now with 20,000 subdivisions. So you can definitely see what's happening here. So the bucket mode is definitely faster. The rendering was pretty fast actually. The only thing that was not, I don't know why it's still rendering here, probably because of the RAM that needs to be emptied, but the image is already finished, I think, after 8 minutes and something. Yeah, but anyway, like I said, the calculation was okay, and the caustics calculation alone took like maybe I think around 6 minutes or something like that. So the actual rendering was pretty fast, but the calculation for the for this caustics map just simply took like I think around 6 minutes or something like that. So now it's completely finished after 9 minutes and 43 seconds for this image. I think it's a little bit of a long render time, but with caustics on I think it's still okay. And so yeah, I think that's just fine. I think we can move on now to the next render engine actually, and let's just simply call this 20,000 so we knew what we did here. And let's move on to Thea in this case. Thea has some different render modes, and yeah, okay, this is Thea render. Let me check all the materials. If the white material here also has the right RGB values. Yes, it has here the right RGB values. Top light is activated, and we can jump into Thea, and you can see this is already an unbiased engine because we don't have much options what we can do here. We have here adaptive BSD, which is basically a biased mode. We have unbiased TR1 and TR2. We have Presto Monte Carlo mode. It's probably MC is probably standing for Monte Carlo, and then we have adaptive AMC, so adaptive Monte Carlo, I guess. So we will start out, I think, with adaptive BSD. Leave everything as it is. Sample limit is here 512. Time limit is set to 0, so it will render endlessly till the sample limit is reached. And biased GI caustics are enabled, as you can see here. Captured photons, estimation photons, and so on and so on. And let's just simply give this a try here, and let's see what we get. And by the way, I did change this here from interactive mode to production mode. This is the only thing that I did change actually. So let's just render this to picture viewer and let's see what we get in this scene. The lights might be a little bit more darker than in Vray, because every single render engine that I do use here has a little bit of different light values. And also the thing is, Thea render is not really rendering at 1200 as 1200. I think this is a demo limitation, as you can see. So yeah, and the image has already finished, which is kinda scary because it was really super fast. The only thing that throws me off a little bit is here the reflection. I don't know why I cannot see it so good here in this orange box actually. Maybe this has something to do with the reflection depth, I'm not sure. And as you can see, we already have caustics as well, so everything is calculated here pretty fast. Even though this is by far not clean as in Vray. In Vray we really have completely clean caustics, here we don't. Let's switch to unbiased TR1 and let's go render to picture viewer. This was now the, what is it called again? Sorry. This was the adaptive BSD. This was the BSD mode. So we should write this down so we know what we did. This was /BSD. And now we can see the new calculation now with the unbiased mode. As you can see, it's already getting calculated, and this is now also way cleaner, like right away. So the only thing that Thea is doing now in this unbiased mode is try to clean up the noise, or to get just simply more and more calculations. And as more rays Thea will send into the scene, the more and more the noise will clean up, and the faster we will see what the final image looks like. So I will just stop the render when I think it's okay. I'm not sure if this will, I think this will stop when it will reach a certain sample limit here at 512 in this case. So probably this won't end, this will end at some point here, as you can see. And this is now rendering on the CPU, by the way. I don't think we have an option here in the unbiased mode to do this with with the GPU as well. I think we would need to switch into a different mode to use GPU and CPU at the same time. So this is now CPU only, and let's see what we get. I think it will soon be finished here with 512 samples. I think I need to up the sample limit here, so I will just throw away this test and up the okay, still keeps rendering, that's good. Okay, I will just pause the video, and when I think this is clean enough, I will just simply stop the rendering, and then we can compare this here a little bit to Vray. So as you can see, I think the image is now clean enough for me after 8 minutes and 30 seconds, but the problem is that a lot of fireflies are introduced here, which are probably coming here from this sphere, and doesn't seem like Thea can really handle this really well here, which is not really good. So let me finish this here, which is not really good. Let's have a look at this again. And this is also not the same resolution that Vray had, so it's even a smaller resolution. And I mean, it has nothing to do with the resolution, but I think the calculation overall should be better. I mean, here you can see the difference between the biased renderer, where we don't have so much reflection depth, not so many bounces here for the reflection, so this is why we can't see the box here, or what the box is reflecting. Here in unbiased mode you can see the box way better, and also what the box is reflecting. And yeah, also the caustics are a little bit different, and also here what this reflects this and stuff like that. And this here is way cleaner, of course, but this was like 19 seconds renderer, and this was like now 8 minutes or something like that, and we still have fireflies, and we probably will never get rid of those fireflies anyway, probably because of this glass material here, or maybe because of the light or something like that. So we would need to change around things in the scene to make this, to fix this, which is not really good. So we'll just jump to the next mode here. We will jump to Presto MC. I will leave TR2 out because it's basically the same thing. As you can see here, tracing depth, if you don't get enough reflections here, then we need to up the tracing depth here. Advanced ambient occlusion, we could enable or disable. I think we will just disable it for now. And let's see what we get with this Presto. And I think here we can use, yes, here we can use the CPU and my one GeForce GTX 1060 that I have in there right now. To be honest, for my daily work, also for clients, I don't need more than the 1060. And I think it's a pretty nice average card that maybe some of you have anyway. So we can have a look. So this is now Presto MC. Let's look at this comparsion. I think the reflections are there. The caustics look a little bit different. I think all three caustics look a little bit different actually, and this image is also a little bit darker. But let's see how fast Presto MC is, and let's see if we still get the firefly problem here. I think there are still some fireflies. And I will just let this render and let you know when I think it's finished. Okay, this render finished after 3 minutes and 5 seconds of its own, so this means we have to type in here probably some numbers. And by the way, denoising is not activated for any render engine because every denoiser is working a little bit differently, so this is why it would not be, I think, a fair comparison. And here is the sample limit. I think we just go to 2048 to have a little bit more space, and now I will just simply let this render again, delete this old render here, and this was what kind? I think this is Presto now. So let's just call this Presto, and I will show you the image when this has finished. So here you can see how it does look after 9 minutes right now. It's still noisy over here, as you can see. Still noisy here in the caustics. Presto is basically the main engine of Thea that also Thea hypes really much. It's also an unbiased mode. As you can see, we don't have any fireflies here, thankfully. So that's really good in this mode. The light is also a little bit differently calculated, it seems, because this one in the unbiased mode was a little bit brighter, this is a little bit darker. But anyway, all the reflections are there that we need, and also the caustics are getting calculated as well. Like I said, it's still a little bit noisy, and it will already extend the time that Vray did need for this shot to make it completely clean. Vray did need 9 minutes and 43 seconds on my machine. And Thea, with a lower resolution, which is not even 1200 by 1200, is still working to cleaning up this noise. I guess something between 15 to 20 minutes, probably 20 minutes to make this completely clean. Also here in the caustics, this will take, and this is GPU and CPU rendering at once. Vray only did render this on the CPU, so that's also a big difference, I think. So yeah, that's it. The last mode in Thea we will not even touch because it's something for more complicated scenes and stuff like that. Even though this is a little bit of a complicated scene, a little bit more, let's say it like that, not really, to be honest. I mean, we could try it. Maybe let's just simply try the last mode. I think I will finish this now at 11 minutes or something like that. Like I said, I think at 20 minutes maybe we would get a final result, something like that. Maybe 20 minutes, I'm not sure. So yeah, let me finish this here. And let's try the last mode, which is called Adaptive AMC. Just a second. So here we can read a little bit something about this mode. Based on TR2, should be preferred for difficult indirect lighting situations, e.g. indirect caustics and stuff like that. Use bias method, making it faster than unbiased TR2. Minimal settings, used in post-production interactive mode, CPU only. So this will only work with the CPU now. So let's do it, Adaptive AMC. And we will just simply click here on Render to Picture Viewer. This was now pressed for after 11 minutes and 2 seconds. Probably a good mode here is also the biased mode, but we would definitely need to play around here with the settings a little bit more, because 19 seconds was like super fast. This is, I think, like the most interesting method here in Thea actually. Presto is probably the most common one, but like I said, this picture was still not clean after 11 minutes, which kinda sucks. And here we can see that the caustics are also getting calculated a little bit differently. I will just let this render for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, or we'll see, maybe it even gets clean in this time, and I will show you the result as soon as this is finished. So here we are after 7 minutes of rendering, and as you can see, there's still a lot of noise here in the caustics and also still a lot of noise up here. So this is not clean. Probably would also take something around 15 to 20 minutes, I guess, to clean this up. So this is definitely not the best mode for us to use here. So I think I will just simply stop it. The only thing that I want to check out a little bit more before we close Thea Renderer is the BSD mode actually, because this gave us a really fast result, and I just want to see if we can maybe get here a little bit better results. We definitely need more depth here, because the reflections weren't really good. It didn't reflect everything. So we definitely need that. Let me see where I can find this. Caustics Advanced, this is only for the GI. Biased RT. Tracing depth. Glossy depth. Okay, we definitely have to up the glossy depth to 5, I think. Trace dispersions, we don't need that. Termination, we can just leave. Minimum AA subdivisions, anti-aliasing is just fine. We can leave it as well. Direct lighting enabled. I'm not sure if that is good. We will just make some render tests here now with this, because I really wanna know what this thing can do. Let's go to Render to Picture Viewer. And I will not name this right now. I just wanna see what quality we can get, in which time we can get it. Because this was really fast before, but I also want to know if we can make here better. Okay, the reflections are still not there here. This is still not working as expected. Why is that? Biased RT, why you're not doing that? Let's maybe up this here to 8, both of them. Which should work already. It's kind of weird why this is not working. Ambient occlusion, we don't need that. Bias GI. Okay, let's try to make this here a little bit better, the caustics. Let's see if we can change here a little bit, and let's see if we have the reflections now that we need. Yes, now we definitely think we get... No, we don't. Why? Why is the reflection depth not working as intended? I just don't get it. Why? And as you can see, the caustics are now way better. Much more cleaner than before, as you can see. So we're definitely getting some. I really do like the speed of this renderer, to be honest. The only thing that I don't like is actually the reflection here, because we don't get any reflection of the silver box here. Or we don't see the reflection of the silver box, which is kind of weird. So let's try this again. Ray tracing, tracing depth, glossy depth. What the hell? Come on. Trace reflections, yes. It should already be enough to trace those reflections, to be honest. Let me switch off direct lighting, by the way. Let's try this again. Okay, this was not a good idea, not at all, to switch this off. Okay, we definitely need direct lighting in this mode, okay. Anything else that I can do here? Trace reflections, yes, Russian. Termination, channels, darkroom, no, we can only work with those two here. Final gathering, samples 100. Diffuse depth is 3. Advanced trace reflections. Trace glossy reflections. Let's turn this on. And let's also up this here to 5. And let's see what we get now. Come on! Give me something. Give me some reflections, man. Please. Okay, this is still not working. Still don't have the reflections that I would need to have. Maybe this is just simply not possible in this mode, that we get here correct results. And even thought this is really fast, like super fast. But the caustics are probably not right. Maybe they are, I'm not 100% sure. We would need to have a real world example with such a glass sphere to really tell which is the most correct result here. Yeah, like I said, the ray tracing is not really working. Let me see this here. Max error, 4%, diffuse depth, samples from a gathering. Irradiance cache, blah 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 blah. This is all not helping for such things. It can only be this tracing depth and glossy depth, actually. I mean, let's up this here to 16 maybe. But this will still not do anything. And I think I have to read them. I would need to read the manual a little bit to really see what all those different things in this mode are doing. And as you can see, we're still not getting anything here, which is kind of weird. I'm just seeing not this reflection here. No, it's not coming. I can do what I want, but this is simply not working. And I think this Russian roulette depth is something completely else. Or maybe, let me up this here to 16, I don't know. I don't even know what this is doing, to be honest. But maybe this has something to do with it. I will just try it quickly now. Like I said, for some things I definitely tell you, even if when I'm working with a new engine and I never used Thea before, I definitely would need to read the manual like everybody else to really know what's going on. But as you can see, I'm just simply not getting this reflection in this mode. So I think we can leave this mode out. So for the final test, we will definitely use here. I think the Presto mode was the best one so far. Even thought 11 minutes and not completely clean, but we don't get any fireflies, and it was working pretty good. The biased mode is a little bit too biased for my taste. not really good, and not a lot of stuff that you can do. Why did I delete this now? This was not so good. Is there an undo button? No, but we don't need this BSD mode anyway. So just TR1, Presto and AMC, and I think Presto was the best one out of those. So I think we can just go on now with the next render engine, and let me put this back here to Presto MC. And as you can see here, we don't have not much things that we could do, only extended tracing we could put on. So we have more trace depth and stuff like that, but we don't need that, we have enough in this mode. And also Presto is working here with CPU and GPU, so this should also be pretty fast. Okay, so let's save this here, because we will come back to Vray and see you later on. And let's jump into Redshift. I did, of course, in Redshift also turn on caustics and stuff like that. Here in the top light, you can see that caustics are enabled. I think it was under where was this? Under photon, I think. You need to check on emit caustic photons and then also photons to emit. Right now it's at 5 million. We can put this down to 1 million for now. I think the starting point is here really low. I think it's like at 100,000. And then also here in Redshift, I did turn on samples minimum is, by the way, set to 8, samples max to 256, standard would be 16. I think this is way too less. So 256 is the way to go. Adaptive error threshold is set to 0.012, and everything else is pretty much straightforward. GI engine is used, brute force in the Irradiance point cloud, while the Irradiance point cloud is set to 7. We could even set it to 8. I think I will leave it at 6 for now. Brute force GI rays, I did type in 2048, standard is 16, but I think this is not really a good result. And here under Photon, I did tick on enable caustics, and max number caustic photons is now set to 50,000. The normal value is 200. We can just go with 5,000 for now. And caustic search radius is now normally at 0.1. I did do this to 5. So let's just render this to picture viewer with the settings that we have right now. And let's see what we get here. So already rendering. Everything is full reflective, of course, like in all the other scenes as well. This might be a little bit brighter than the V-Ray scene. Definitely is a little bit more brighter because of the light, but this shouldn't really matter to us. So right now it's calculating the irradiance point cloud, and now we should get our final rendering here inside of Redshift. See what we get. Pretty fast so far, not bad at all. As you can see, also caustics are getting calculated. Okay, so we will see what we get. Yeah, everything else is clean. I like the reflections, everything is there, so the trace depth is okay. I think I did up the trace depth a little bit. I'm not 100% sure, we need to check that, but the caustics, as you can see, are not really good. And what is kind of really weird here with Redshift is it's not considering any caustics up here on the ceiling. It's only considering it here on the floor, which is kind of weird. But anyway, like I said, we need to type in here a little bit more, so let's make this... What is this now? I think this is 100,000, right? Yes. So let's up this here to 1 million maybe. 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million. And let's see what we get now. And let me also check the trace depth. Where was this again? I think... was somewhere. Lens effects. Motion blur, no. Environment, no. Lens effects, no. Photometric units, no. Optimization, maximum trace depth, yeah, here. Reflections at 4, refractions at 6. Maybe let's put this here to 6 as well. And let's go render to picture viewer. So the first image was 56 seconds, which is not too bad. And it's completely noise free. The only problem that we have are here the caustics. And I did play around with it already a little bit, so I know what values work in this scene. Maybe we can put in a little bit more, a little bit less GI samples, honestly, so that the irradiance point cloud does not work that much. Anti-aliasing also I do like. And this should be the newest Redshift version, by the way. I did just download the newest demo version at least. And let's see what it's doing now with the caustics. Like I said, we have now 1 million instead of 100,000. This comes out way cleaner than before. Like really way cleaner. The only thing that really is kind of weird to me is that Redshift is really not considering anything up there. It's completely like there is nothing. And all the other engines, if you look here at Thea Presto, you can see that we get something up here. At Vray, you can see we get something up here. In Redshift, you can see absolutely nothing. So it's only considering this down here. But the render time was pretty good. And I think also the caustics are pretty almost calculated pretty good, to be honest. And yeah, this only with 4 seconds more to be yeah, so only 4 seconds more. That's really good. That's really good. We can also up here the photons now maybe to 50,000, so we're sending more photons into the scene, or allow more photons, and we can also set this here to 5 millions. And so really extreme settings here now, and see what render time we get, and also how much this does change the look of our caustics if you really get out so much more here if you try this now. But like, I mean, I really do like Redshift, to be honest. I mean, everything is there. The reflections are really good. The trace depth is more than enough. It's completely noise-free, almost completely noise-free, and the caustics are looking pretty good. The only thing that really scares me here is, I don't know why it's not considering any caustics up here, actually. This is kinda weird. We will see what the other engines are doing, but I think Redshift is here a little bit different than other engines, and I don't know what exactly the problem is here, why it's not doing this here. Maybe it's the search radius or something like that. Maybe you have to put in a higher search radius, or maybe a smaller one or something like that. We'll play around with the search radius a little bit as well, because maybe this is my fault and not the engine's fault. So we will see. Okay, rendering pretty fast. Okay, even thought we are over 1 minute now. I think that's still a pretty good render time. And let's look at the caustics down here. If the look is really completely different now, or way better or something like that. If not, we can just simply go back to our old settings and save some render time. Alright, and let's see. There is not really much of a difference, to be honest. Just probably looks the same. So we can just go back here to 1 million and then also set this back here to, I think we had 5,000 or something like that here. I think it's looking pretty good. And let me switch this back here to 0.1 and let's see if it does find anything on the ceiling with these settings. And after that we're going extreme to something like 100 if it does not with those settings, and then we will just simply see what's going on here. But I don't think that this will change anything, to be honest. Oh yeah, I will just pause the video and let you know if we find anything on the ceiling after this has finished. Alright, this has finished after 1 minute and 9 seconds, and as you can see we are getting some noise back now. This is because of the search radius, I guess. Because when the search radius is higher, this probably gets blurred a little bit better. And if it's not so high, if it's smaller, then we get more noise, so we would need more samples when the search radius is smaller. So, but for now, I just wanna, let me see how far I can put this. Let's just simply put this here to 50. Seems to be the max value. Even thought we could probably go above that, and let's see what we get if we put this to 50. Like I said, if we have such a small search radius, then we would need to have more samples here. So let's see what this is doing now with 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 50, a radius of 50. What am I talking today? Jesus Christ. Only bullshit coming out of my mouth today. This is probably because I didn't receive any Christmas present from my parents this year. probably because I wasn't a good son. But thankfully that my father is going on vacation with his girlfriend, but he's not able to buy me a Christmas present. But it's not about the presents, as we know. It's all about the love of Christmas. And as we all know, that is a lie, because it's definitely all about the presents. Okay, anyway, so as you can see, 1 minute and 2 seconds. So it's okay. As you can see, this is now here a little bit bigger, but it's also blurry now. And I don't think this looks too good, to be honest. I mean, it doesn't look too shabby, and it doesn't change anything on the ceiling. So this is just something that Redshift does. Maybe the only thing that I could, let's change this back to 5 here. The only thing that I could maybe imagine what would help here is if we go here, maximum trace depth, to the diffuse bounces maybe. If we up those bounces, that we get a little bit more, or number of GI bounces in this case maybe. Let's maybe up this here really to 15 or something like that. And anything else that I could do, maximum, no, caustic search radius, blah, 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 blah. Reflection tracing depth is set to 10, combined tracing depth. No, I cannot even set this higher. Okay, so 10 is here really the absolute maximum. System, error handling, blah, 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 memory, no. Yes, okay. Maximum reflection, combined. Russian roulette, texture sampling. Is there anything that I can do here still to get here a little bit more? No, I think that's it actually. I think here GI, the number of GI bounces is the only thing that I could do. So let's see, let's try it with more bounces. If you maybe get something here up on the ceiling, if this is maybe hindering us to get this, because I really want to try everything to get this here up on the ceiling. I don't want to blame Redshift too much. First of all, I want to blame myself because I didn't hit the right settings. But if this is not working now, then I don't really know how we could do this, to be honest. Maybe you have a comment for Redshift. What am I doing wrong? So you can just comment on YouTube. Not everybody is perfect, and I'm definitely far away from perfect. So please let me know if you have an idea what could change that, so that we would have here the same behavior as in Thea right here, and also in Vray right here. Because this is kind of weird that Redshift is the only one that is considering this a little bit differently here. So as you can see now, we're working with 15 bounces, but doesn't really change anything. The render time is almost the same, only it took like 3 minutes longer. The funny thing is that the caustics also look again a little bit differently, I think. Again, maybe a little bit more accurate now, I have no clue. Maybe this is because of the bounces, I don't know. But it's okay. Okay, I think we will leave Redshift for now. I think we can delete all the other tests. I think 1 minute and 5 seconds is just fine. What we got here, we have a lot of samples in the scene. It's really rendering really fast. The only thing, like I said, that I don't get is what is here on the ceiling. So that was pretty fast. Good job, Redshift. Good job. Okay, so let me save those settings before I do anything else. And let's open up Octane. And Octane was really long my to-go engine for everything I did for clients. A lot of clients always wrote me, hey, come on, we need to see an Octane, please, because we're also working with it in-house and stuff like that. So yeah, Octane is still used a lot in the industry by a lot of people, by a lot of companies. But we will see what this test will bring. The funny thing is I had to add here an Octane sky because and put a texture on it and put this here to completely black, because when you don't have that, you automatically get, even in path tracing mode, you automatically get light from the outside, which would definitely make this a little bit weird here, so this is why an Octane sky is added. So everything is dark on the outside and only the room inside is illuminated. And as you can see, this is set to path tracing, and caustic blur is set to 0, so we have full caustics. Octane is one of the engines where you can control the caustics here, if they're unbiased, and where you can calculate if the caustics should come in or not. So let's just put this to the test. Render to picture viewer in PT mode, path tracing, and we will see how long Octane needs for that. Let me see if I did do any other changes. No, I don't think so. I think the re-epsilon is fine here. Yeah, I did turn down the GI clamp to 500 to make it maybe a little bit faster here. But as you can see already, there is still a lot of noise in there. Of course, I'm only working with one Nvidia GTX 1060. But like I said, I'm really expecting from the engines a lot, even with such a... Well, it's not really a slow card, but it's also not the best card. Probably some of you guys have like maybe 4 2080 Ti's, or what do I know? You spoiled kids, but I only have 1060 GTIs or GTX, so we have to work with that for now. So I will just pause the video, and as soon as I consider this picture as, let's say, noise-free, I will give you a heads up. So as you can see, Octane is still calculating and it's still noisy. It's noisy up there and it's noisy up there. So probably exactly the same problem that Thea had with this scene actually. So this will definitely need more, I think like 5 to 10 minutes more maybe. I don't know. This is kind of weird. Let's maybe compare this here with Thea. Kind of hard to compare this exactly when this resolution is lower than this one, but almost the same result, I think. Yeah. Let's compare it with Vray. Even though Vray is a little bit darker here, I would need to make the light a little bit stronger. Vray actually really did an absolutely good job, I need to say. Even though the shadow here is not that hard, probably because the light is a little bit lower. If we would turn up the light, probably also the shadow would get a little bit more darker, a little bit more harder. But yeah, this is now almost 7 minutes, and I think this would definitely need more, like, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes more to really clean up. It kind of sucks. What we could do here is to jump back to the normal Octane settings and give this here maybe not completely 0. I think normally this is set to 0.1 or something like that, or 0.2 maybe. I think 0.1. Yeah, I think 0.2 is the normal setting here for Octane. And I think I will leave the GI clamp at 500 and let's go render to picture viewer. I mean, this is like the only settings where we can really do anything about render speed is here. Whoopsie, sorry. Is here the GI clamp and the caustic blur, of course, to speed this up. And we could also set a camera tag, but I did not use a camera tag for any other engine as well. So we will leave the camera tag out here to make it a little bit more fair, because there you can fight fireflies a little bit better with the camera tag as well. And as you can see, as soon as we blur this out a little bit, like 0.2, this should clean up way faster now. I'm not sure about the ceiling, to be honest, but yeah, this rendered for like 6 minutes and 50. So let's just write this down, 6 minutes and 50 at zero blur for caustics. And this is now 0.2 blur actually. And I will let this render now also for 6 minutes and 50 seconds, and then we'll see what we get to the render before. And I'll let you know as soon as it has finished. Alright, so here's our result after 6 minutes and 52 seconds. So not really much of a difference, only 2 seconds. Let me just type this in here quickly. And as you can see, of course, this is way cleaner now down here than before. But also the caustics are blurred out a little bit more. So we're not getting such hard caustics, which is a little bit of a pity. And if you look here up on the ceiling, as you can see, this also gets blurred out way more, but it's still noisy, so it's still not finished after 6 minutes and 50 seconds. So I think we would need maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes more to make this here completely clean. So something around 10 to 11 minutes, I would guess, Octane would need here to calculate this. And so yeah, so the last mode that we can try here is PMC mode. So Monte Carlo, path tracing Monte Carlo, I guess. So let's try this. Caustic blur set to 0.02. Oh, I think this is the normal value. Normally it's 0.02. Specular depth is set to 24 here, this to 16. Let's just simply try this mode and let's see what we get. And we will just try it with the normal caustic blur here of 0.02. But probably I think this will render way longer than before. I think before we get something like 8 to 9 ms a second. Right now we're at 5. Okay, so I will just pause the video and I will stop it after 6 minutes and 50 seconds, I think. The rendering I will stop after 6 minutes and 50 seconds, and then we will show it. Then we'll have a look at this picture and see what we get. Okay, so this is the picture after 5 minutes. Doesn't look too shabby, to be honest. I think that PMC is working in this scene a little bit better than the normal path tracer. The thing is also that, or the problem in this scene is that Octane and Thea and Redshift, that I mean Redshift I'm not sure, but I think not. I think they are all not bidirectional path tracers, so they don't have no bidirectional mode. So they only send rays in the scene that are coming from the camera, and then try to find a solution or to calculate the scene only from the rays that are coming from the camera. A bidirectional path tracer, as you can see here in the Indigo renderer, here you can see normal path tracing. This is what Octane does basically. So it sends out rays from the camera and then tries to calculate the scene from those rays that are sent in. With a bidirectional path tracing, the thing is that rays are getting sent from the light source and from the camera, and then the calculation happens. And with an MLT, a Metropolis light transport method, here you can see bidirectional path tracing with MLT. Rays are fired from both the camera and the lights, then connected to create many passes. When a successful light carrying pass is found, another is fired off in a similar direction. Gives good results for caustics and difficult scenes generally. So an interior is basically always kind of a more complicated scene when you have glass and stuff like that. So this is where a bidirectional path tracer really kicks in and where it really helps. And I also read an article where I think Framestore got interviewed for their work on Guardians of Galaxy. And they said they did use Arnold for almost all of their shots, but they had really big problems because Arnold is not, of course, a bidirectional path tracer. So it was kind of hard to do interior shots and stuff like that because it was taking so long. So they programmed their own, let me find this here. In the past we struggled with rendering interior scenes that had a significant number of occluded lights, so we had to begin to experiment with using our own bidirectional path tracer on top of Arnold's ray intersection base. We always jokingly refer to these experiments as the Van Damme integrator. For nowhere we felt we need to press these experiments into production, so we wound up rewriting our entire shader library to cope with this, as all our shaders need to cope with being used in a bidirectional sense. As part of our bidirectional work, we also need to modify our custom volume lighting tools to allow us to have fire and explosions illuminate the set in a way we could sample well. All that said, despite the complexity of the tools we've built top on Arnold, we're still heavily reliant on the Arnold core's ability to progress large amounts of geometry. The full Nova environment at 1.2 billion polygons was typically fitting into less than 30 gigabytes. So this is the problem also, not only with Arnold, but also with a lot of other engines. And the good thing is that Arnold has a lot of options where you still can program your own shaders and maybe then make them work in a better bidirectional sense, or make Arnold work in a better, more bidirectional sense. With such engines like Octane, Thea, and Redshift and stuff like that, this is probably not possible to code a lot of your own stuff. Maybe it is possible, but I have no clue how to do it. So those big departments like Framestore, of course, have their own people sitting there who can do such stuff. Okay, so this is why also such scenes maybe in a normal path tracer like Octane or like in Thea and stuff like that, this just simply takes way too long and way longer than with other engines. Okay, so this now took like almost 9 minutes. This is what we get. We're still not completely clean. There's some fireflies, probably like maybe 2-3 minutes more, and we would get rid of it. This is almost clean now, I think. So maybe we can close this here now at 9 minutes. This was definitely, I think, the better method to use for this scene inside of Octane. So don't always use the path tracing mode. If something is not working, consider also to go with PMC maybe. And let me call this here PT as well. PT. Okay, that's good. And this was PMC with almost 9 minutes. Let me just write this down. 0906. Yes, okay. So yeah, that's it with Octane. To be honest, I'm a little bit... I'm not satisfied. I'm really not satisfied with Octane. I really thought Octane will be faster. This is, by the way, the newest version 4.0, that just came out with the newest Cinema 4D plugin, the newest stable Cinema 4D plugin. And to be honest, I'm not really happy with this result. I really thought Octane would be way faster than that. It's actually not, because this interior scene is, like I said, a little bit more complicating, and this is where Path Tracer really starts to struggle. But this is also why I did choose this Cornell box, to see what every engine really does inside there. Okay, so let's jump to the next one, and this will be Maxwell. And we will see what Maxwell can do. Let me just pause the video quickly. Yeah, sorry, I had to roll up another cigarette. But anyway, here we are with Maxwell. We don't have any options with Maxwell, not really, to optimize here anything. It's kind of hard. The only thing we can say, okay, stop at sampling level 12. What quality level we want to have, GPU, draft, or production. We will go for production. So I think Maxwell will use for the calculations only the GPU, the CPU. And we also cannot render this inside here of Cinema 4D. We need to render it externally in the Maxwell render. And we will just simply click on this and let it render. And we will see what we get with Maxwell. Like I said, Maxwell is really, really good in the calculations. I think also uses a bidirectional MLT method to unbiased MLT Metropolis light transport bidirectional method, I think, which should make this scene a little bit faster in Maxwell. But I think the code that Maxwell uses is like really, really slow. As you can see, we're already getting the caustics like right out of the box. There are some options that we have. I think here on the left side there's also a new denoiser that definitely helps, of course, Maxwell a lot. But like I said, we're not using any denoisers in any engine, because this would make it a little bit unfair, because every denoiser is working a little bit differently and is working faster or not so fast, because they're all using different denoisers. And so yeah, so as you can see, we don't have really any options inside of Maxwell to tell it to render faster or whatsoever. There is just simply one method. I think the light might be a little bit over bright. Let me just stop this rendering here, because I think that's really too bright, to be honest. And I think I have to go back here in the camera. Cinema, where was it? Output. Yeah, I think I have to put down the EV maybe to 4. Let me check this scene again now, because this is way too over bright. I don't wanna work with this scene like this, to be honest. Now it's maybe too dark, hopefully not. It always takes some SL steps till you really see what the final light will look like in the scene. If this is now too dark, I will just simply go back. As you can see, SL3, now it gets a little bit brighter, and I think at SL4 it still gets a little bit brighter till SL5 or something like that. I think at SL5 we see the final result. Yeah, SL4 a little bit more bright. Yeah, I think the brightness is okay now. I'm not 100% happy, but I think it's okay. Maybe it's a little bit too dark now. What the hell? Okay, let's quit this. And let's give this here, where was it again? EV of 3. Before it was 2, now it was 4, now we're going with 3. And let's just render. And I think I will let this render for like maybe... I think we should always maybe aim for Vray a little bit. Vray gave us a time of 9 minutes anything. So I think I will let this render for like maybe 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes we will look at this result. And there is not really much that we can do. With Maxwell Render we can only use the GPU afterwards if you want to. The problem is using the GPU instead of the CPU is that it has some limitations. Some reflection, trace depth limitations which are not good. And I think also the other problem is with Maxwell Render, it only supports one card. Okay, I only have one card right now. But for all you other guys out there, it's only possible to only use one GPU at a time, which also sucks a little bit. I hope they will fix it in the future. But yeah, like I said, we will do this now with the CPU rendering. We'll see how fast this is after 10 minutes or what we get after 10 minutes. If it should be noise-free before 10 minutes, I will just simply stop it. And yeah, but otherwise we will look at it after 10 minutes. So I will pause the video and you will see the result in just a minute. And here I also found a little article from the, I think Virginia University about Maxwell. And here you can read a little bit more what it's exactly doing. Maxwell Render is an unbiased rendering engine based on a variant of the Monte Carlo algorithm called Metropolis Light Transport. Unbiased, so you get a little bit more of a clue what this really means. This means that the rendering engine does not introduce any systematic error or bias into its calculation. Bias, for example, would be if the rendering engine ignored certain light materials interactions such as reflections or bending through glass. However, some error is still introduced in the form of high frequency noise due to variance in the scene. In practical terms, this means to reduce the noise by half, 4 times as many samples are needed. Monte Carlo algorithm, these are a set of algorithms which use repeated random sampling to compute results. Metropolis Light Transport, this algorithm is the heart of how Maxwell works. The algorithm works through bidirectional path tracing. Here you have it, that is. The rendering engine attempts to trace passes of light from camera to light source and from light source to camera, accounting for all of the interactions with materials and surfaces along the way. Once the MLT algorithm finds suitable passes, it can explore nearby passes to calculate these too. So yeah, this is an MLT bidirectional path tracer in the end. So it did finish after SL10 or after a certain time. I think I just simply did give it only 5 minutes render time. I think this is the basic settings of Maxwell, so this is what we get after 5 minutes and not 10 minutes. And as you can see, we are far away from being clean here. This definitely needs way more render time, probably 5 to 10 minutes more, and the ceiling as well. Everything else looks pretty good, as you can see. And we will do now the exact same test, I think, with the GPU. So let me put this here into a GPU mode. Let's do this with, and priority is low. Okay, I'm not sure. It should work now with the GPU, I think. So let's click here on this one. Click on rendering and let's see if it does use the GPU. I think it does. It should use the GPU now. Let me see what it says exactly. Using 16 threads. What the hell, when was this? At what time? Start at 1356, okay. Voxelization, start rendering, writing MXI, starting writing image. Cannot really see if it's now really using the GPU, but I think it is. But I already can tell that I don't like what I see here. There is so much noise introduced here. And also here, this calculation will never be completely noise-free, I think. This will take ages. And so it's already at SL 9.10. This is not good. This is definitely not good. Okay, maybe let's leave it some time to see what we get when it jumps to the next SL here. What we get then, 10.10. Yeah, I think this will take ages. So that's not really good, and I would not consider using the GPU yet inside of Maxwell. Like I said, it has some limitations, which is not so good. So if you have a window behind a window, 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 I think after the 5th or 6th window, you cannot see through the others anymore. This is just simply the limitation of Maxwell on the GPU right now. I hope that they will fix it in the future, and I hope they will also consider to implement more GPU use in the future. I think the problem is the computing actually on the GPU with MLT, with Metropolis Light Transport and bidirectional path tracing, and how the code was written for Maxwell. So I think it's not that easy to implement GPUs. This is the problem here. And also multiple GPUs, and to give it more trace depth and stuff like that. But what really the problem is, I have no clue. I would need to talk to somebody from Next Limit about that to really understand a little bit better what's going on. But yeah. Okay, so I think we can stop the test here. I would say Maxwell would probably need something between 10 to 15 minutes. But we will really stop the time a little bit later on when we really make accurate or some other tests here, because this is just like the basic test that we are doing right now. After that we're going a little bit more hardcore, and in the end I will show you then all the render times together. So the next engine we would be using is Indigo render. So Indigo has some different rendering modes. So here we can go render settings. We will start with some normal path tracing here. And we can also, here if we tick this on, we can use GPU and CPU, I think, for every single render mode. So we'll just use the GPU as well, because this render engine does support it, so why should we not use it if we can get more speed out of it. I think the only thing is that this is a little bit too dark, but I think it's okay. Let me see if I can make this a little bit brighter. Let me just pause the video. Alright, so it seems like it's absolutely not possible to change any light values inside of Indigo render, which really pisses me off like completely. No matter what I do here in the light tag, if I set it to RGB, black body, uniform, whatsoever, as soon as I type in here, try to type in here some gain of this thing, let's maybe even type in 1 million or even more, just simply doesn't work, it doesn't do anything. Here the value for the luminance candela, if I go here a little bit more, well, way more, as you can see, still the same render over and over again. So we'll just do now the test with the basic lighting. What exactly is going on in Indigo render, I have no fucking clue, to be honest. This is really, really strange. I never have seen something like that before, but it's okay. The only thing that I noticed is here in the picture viewer, we have here Indigo renderer and then Indigo tone mapping. I did set this now to linear, but it seems like even that does not really change anything right now. Yeah, that's the only thing that I can see. Like I said, light settings are not working. I also tried to do it with a plane and then with a light material inside of with Indigo. Exactly the same, just simply doesn't work, not at all. I mean, maybe I try it once again. Let me check this, because this stuff like that really pisses me off, because it should just work out of the box, like with any other render engine as well. Let me get rid of this, and let's create a quick light material. Let's go with emission. Oh, I think we need a base emission. Yes, seems like. whatever the emission then is, then we can set this here to black body as well. And let's put this on to the top light. Let's see what we get here. Alright, something, and brightness. Let's make it super bright, let's make it 10. No, still nothing has changed, so let's leave it, let's give it a value, a complete crazy value like this. Let's see if anything does change. No, it does not. Okay. I don't even know what the difference is between space emission and emission, but we can set this here to black body as well, and let's see what we get now. Hello. Okay, and let's change the brightness here to 10. Okay, let's set it to an absolute crazy value, like something like this. Okay, still no change in brightness whatsoever, absolutely nada, which is absolutely crazy, I think. I don't know, maybe we need a transmitter or something like that. I mean, what kind of... I don't know. I simply don't know. Let's try this again. No, still no change. Specular transmitter phone Orion. Naja. No. Okay, let's forget about it. It just simply doesn't work, and here, no matter what I do, inside slide tags also doesn't work. And the coolest thing ever is that the camera tag absolutely does nothing. So there are no options in this camera tag whatsoever. So it probably, maybe this changes now a little bit. If I, okay, let me try this with camera tag again, what we tried before. Let's just give it this a camera tag. Maybe it's my fault. We need a camera tag here, even though all the other render engines did not. And let's see what we get here now. Okay. Still the same shit. Let's up the brightness as much as we can here. Okay, even though this gets now black, nobody knows why. Let's just give it, I don't know, 1000. And this is also really, really over bright. And let's see if that helps, if that makes any difference. No, it does not. Let's try it again. Okay, this turns black. That's weird. Okay, let's try it again. Nope. Still not working. Use emission scale. We could use this here. Change this to nits maybe, and maybe change this here to 10,000. So I don't know. Let's see. If that... Okay, something has changed. That's for sure. Let's maybe change this back here to 1. And... Okay, let's try it again. If we get anything now. Yes, we do get anything now. That's really crazy. Wow. Let me change the brightness here back to 10. Does not do anything. Let me change this to 1000. No, still nothing. 10,000. Anything now? Nope, nothing. Okay, what about this value? What if I go here completely crazy and type in a value like this? Okay, it doesn't matter at all. And what's going on here? If I pull this here to 10, does that change anything? No. Crazy value. Nope, no change at all. Okay, let's forget about it. Simply not possible with Indigo render to change any light, which is, I think, perfectly crazy. Even if I pull this up here to 10,000 or 100,000, it just simply doesn't work. So I have absolutely no clue what's going on here. Really no clue. Yeah, okay. So let's just do the test as it is. We will try it first of all with the render settings here, and we will switch off OpenCL rendering. So we're really using the path tracing mode here, and not the OpenCL rendering. And let's go render to picture view. This is really, really crazy that this is not working at all. I have no clue what I'm doing wrong. Maybe there is an Indigo user out there that has any clue what I'm doing wrong here, because I simply don't know. I tried it with planes, I tried it with materials, I did try it with, I don't know, normal area lights and so on, but nothing seems to work. This is really, really crazy. But anyway, I will pause the video and yeah, we'll have a look at it as soon as it has cleaned up a little. Okay, it seems like I can only change the light here, the overall lighting here, then in the tone mapping. If I go here, tone mapping, and then I play here with the Reinhardt settings, this works, as you can see. So let's leave it maybe at, I don't know, 5.5 or something like that. Or let's leave this as default. I don't know what the default is, actually. And then we can just work with the post scale or something like that. Linear is not really working, because as you can see, if I put the 0 to 0, then to 10, it's still completely dark. What the fuck is that? Then camera, we could also work with this, like maybe give this here. Maybe we need the camera tag for that, I have no clue. Then we have here a lot of different responses for the camera. A lot of different curves basically, and then filmic scale, we could also use that. So I think Reinhardt is the best way to go to get something that we like. I think this is kind of weird actually. That's really a kind of weird method to go about this, honestly, but it's okay. Okay, so I just want to show this quickly, how we can make this a little bit brighter here, and yeah, I will just pause the video and we will see how long this takes. Okay, here we go. So after 10 minutes we still have a lot of noise, probably expected from a path tracer here, only path tracing mode. So I think a bidirectional path tracing mode would be here way better. And this is probably the next method that we will be using. Okay, so let's stop it here at 10 minutes. And let's switch the mode to the next one. Let's go to path tracing with bidirectional. And let's see what we get here after 10 minutes. So let's call this Indigo PT, and we will call this here PT slash BDIR, bidirectional, and we will go into the tone mapping again and switch the post scale here up maybe to something like 4. I think 4 is just fine. 1.4 and 4, and let me change this here to the exact same settings. So 1.4. This is kind of weird now. Okay, let's just leave it like that. Okay, alright, and I'll let it render now, and we will see what we get, how fast this is clean. As soon as this gets clean, I will stop the rendering and tell you. But as we can see, there are already some fireflies introduced here, which we probably will never get rid of. I can already tell that. That's not good. That's not good at all, not even a little bit. That's really, really bad actually. This cleans up way faster, the caustics, and also here on the ceiling. I think this also cleans up way faster, but those fireflies here, like I said, we will never get rid of those fireflies that I introduced there. I think that's definitely a problem. So I think we can stop the render right here, because those fireflies will not be gone. I mean, I'll let it render for 10 minutes as well, but I think we are not getting rid of those fireflies in any kind of way. Okay, so we are here after almost 5 minutes, and as I told you before, this is almost clean here on the ceiling, which is good. Also here, this is almost clean, but the rest of the fireflies that I introduced, we will not get rid of those, so we can just simply stop this here after 5 minutes. Those fireflies will probably stay forever, so we will try it now with an MLT mode, normal Metropolis light transport, without bidirectional path tracing. Just normal path tracing, and here you can see again what it's doing. MLT path tracing. Rays are fired from the camera, bouncing around the scene until they hit a light. When a successful light carrying path is found, another is fired off in a similar direction, gives good results for caustics. So this is what we're doing right now. We'll still be a little bit slow in this scene, I guess. Let me apply here the tone mapping again. I think I had this on 4. Yes. So those pictures should look even now. Yes. And this one I think I cannot change anymore, which is kind of silly. But anyway. Okay, so I'll let this render now for a few minutes, but I can already tell, I think, that this doesn't look too good what's happening here. Also here, this doesn't look good. But anyway, I will let it render for at least 5 minutes and then we will have a look at this. Alright, so this has finished after 10 minutes and 1 second, and this is what we get. There still are a lot of really annoying fireflies around here, and I think we will never get rid of them. Probably. The rest looks pretty good. So yeah, I don't know. So let's just simply call this MLT for now. I mean, this sphere looks good, but there are also some fireflies in it. I think the ceiling is okay, but there are also some fireflies, so this is definitely not the best method to render this. So let's go with MLT with bidirectional path tracing. This should go way faster, but we will see if we get the same firefly issue like with path tracing and bidirectional. So let's see, MLT BDIR, and let's change the tone mapping here to 4 in the post. Okay, and yeah, I can already see here we're getting fireflies again. So here and here and here. This is something Indigo doesn't like at all, to be honest. That's not good. I mean, this MLT was at least clean here, but we still have some other fireflies. This is probably because of the glass and the light. It's really bad that Indigo can't handle this really good. Probably the caustics will clean up way faster, but here we're also getting fireflies, and here that's not too good, to be honest. And here we have a lot of fireflies, and I think they will never ever disappear. Okay, we'll just pause the video and I will be back after 5 to 10 minutes, we will see. And maybe when I see after 5 minutes that we're not getting rid of those fireflies whatsoever, then we'll just stop it after 5 minutes, because then it's impossible to get a clean image in a reasonable time. Okay, this is it after almost 10 minutes. So you can see we still have here a lot of fireflies going on here in the reflection. The rest of the fireflies is almost gone. So I think for now this is almost the best render method that we did test so far for this scene. So yeah, I will just simply stop that and we will go now with the last one. No, this was the last one actually. Okay, so that's it for Indigo. So no clean image. The only thing that we still could try is OpenCL rendering, and we will do that as well. So I think it will only use, I'm not sure what it's using right now, if it's also using the CPU or only the GPU. And let me get here the tone mapping up to 4. Alright, and yeah, I'll let this render now for a few minutes and we will see what we get in this mode. So this is it after 10 minutes. Absolutely no fireflies, I think, and the only thing that is not clean right now are the caustics here on the floor and on the ceiling. So yeah, this is kind of hard to tell what is the best mode. I think it's something between Metropolis Light Transport Bidirectional and OpenGL, because here the caustics are completely clean, but we still have some fireflies left that would need to clean up, and maybe they would clean up, I'm not 100% sure. And with OpenGL we have no fireflies whatsoever, but this is not clean yet, but we would definitely get a complete good result after some time without any noise and without any fireflies. If you would get rid of the fireflies here completely, I don't know, to be honest, so we would need to test that. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, I think we can jump on to the next engine, and the next one is Corona, and after that we only have Arnold left. So let's go with Corona and let's see what settings we have here. We will just go with the normal settings. I did put on caustics, performance settings, GI balance, we could definitely light samples multiply, we could definitely here speed accuracy balance, we could definitely speed this up here a little bit or give it more accuracy if we want to. And we will use the presets still frame and then let me see, where is it? Global illumination full, and we will go with GISO over UHD cage, and after that we will use path tracing. So let's just simply click on render to picture viewer. Like I said, caustics are enabled. So as you can see, it's already calculating, and Corona should be really fast. I'm not sure how fast it is actually with caustics, to be honest. So we'll just let this render here with the basic settings, and I will give you a heads up when this has finished after 5 to 10 minutes. So as you can see, after around 2 minutes or something like that, we're already getting here a clean result, which is really scary how fucking fast Corona is. This is really, and it's only GPU based. This is absolutely stunning. This is so fucking fast. I don't know, big props to Corona right here. Love it, absolutely love it. So we can switch to the path tracer already, to the path tracing mode, and we will give this a shot. So let's go render to picture viewer. And this was without any optimization or anything else. I mean, look at this, it's absolutely perfect reflections, no fireflies, no nothing. Anti-aliasing is okay. And well, anti-aliasing could be a little bit better, but it's kind of hard in this scene, and everything else is completely clean. Even here, the caustics on the floor and stuff like that, so that's really good. Also here on the ceiling, this is completely clean. Love it. This is so good. I mean, the only engine that was faster so far is Redshift, but Redshift didn't calculate it absolutely correct, because we do have some caustics here, but we do not have any caustics over there, which is kind of strange. Maybe we could tweak still some settings in Redshift, like I said, to get this here up on the ceiling as well. Maybe some of you that are using Redshift have maybe an idea how we can achieve that. But Corona for now is for me definitely my absolutely favorite in form of accuracy and speed. I mean, this was like render time of 3 minutes or something like that. Probably could have stopped it after, 3 minutes was just fine. I think this is still a little bit noisy, but I think 3 minutes is okay. And 3 minutes on an CPU based render engine. I mean, the good thing is about Corona, it's a bidirectional path tracer. So it's really good. And yeah, it's how fast is this fucking engine? This is really amazing, and I think it's still in alpha and beta stage for Cinema 4D, so this is really kind of scary how fast it is. Okay, so I will look at path tracing. I will wait till this is noise free, and then I will just simply stop it, and then we'll see what time we get here with path tracing. Okay, so I think we're almost there. Here it's still a little bit noisy, to be honest. This is definitely cleaner the picture before, and we are almost at 6 minutes now, so path tracing is definitely slower. But there are no fireflies or anything else, so it looks pretty good. It looks exactly the same. The only thing is here it gets a little bit brighter in this reflection, as you can see. That's the only thing basically. And yeah, I think we can stop it here right now. We can definitely say that UHD is way faster than path tracing, way faster. Okay, so let's stop it. Let's name this quickly, and then we move on to the last one. I will just simply call this quickly UHD, and we'll call this one here PT. And let's open up Arnold, and let's see what Arnold does for us. And after that, we're really putting all those engines to the real test. I did also hear some. Let's put this back down here, the camera AA to 2. I think what's happening now is Cinema 4D giving up on me. This would be great. Oh please give up on me. Oh yes, nothing is working anymore. That's so good. Oh, I like it. Oh, that's so good. Oh, perfect. A little bit freezing. That's exactly what I need every day. Can't live without it. A little bit of freezing in my life. A little bit of da 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 da. What the hell? Come on. Are you serious? It's really Cinema 4D really gone now? I think it is. Okay, that's not good. So we'll just close it. If Windows let me do that, I'm not sure. And we will just open up Arnold again. And so yeah. Let's turn this back on. And we will see if this works now. Hopefully. Hopefully it does. Let's see. Yeah, Arnold renderer, we will put this back down here to 3, which is the normal thing. Caustics are enabled. I think, yeah, there should be, where were caustics again? Actually, system, render settings, I think caustics are enabled. Denoiser diagnostics. Let me see if we put here a parameter tag. Is there anything? Displacement? No, no, no. I think you can here somewhere. You can here in advanced. I think you can turn on the caustics. Yes, I did this. I did this here, and in the light I think I have gone up with the samples to 3. Let's start out with 1 here for now, and the intensity is set to 60 here in the light, which is, yeah, I think was just right for this scene actually. So let's see what Arnold is doing for us here with those normal settings. Oh nice, and now all our render times are gone, but like I said, it doesn't matter really, because I still have in mind what was the best engine for every single engine that we did use, and we will then really make the final test of how those engines react when we do a little bit something to every scene. The only thing that was not possible in Arnold is to make this light visible. I don't know why they have that. It's only possible if you use a mesh light, and I do not trust the mesh lights at all in any render engine because they're most of the time slower than the normal area lights. So this is why we don't have any white light here, but as you can see it here in the reflection and stuff like that. And also, as you can see, the caustics are not really showing up here, and we still have a lot of noise after 50 seconds. So we need to go up here to 3 samples here in the lights. So we're having a bit more samples to work on, and have a little bit less noise from the light itself. And I think I have to look into the Arnold caustics again. Maybe I forgot something. The caustic should work. Even thought Arnold is only calculating soft caustics and not calculating any hard caustics, because hard caustics would take forever to calculate, so Arnold is just simply not doing this. So we would only get soft caustics anyway. Probably a lot of engines are handling it like this because it's really hard. Maxwell is probably an expectation, maybe some other engines as well, I'm not sure. We would really need to test caustics only to find this out, what every engine is doing. Some engines don't really have a good manual and don't really say what they can do and what they not do. Okay. Looks way better than before, as you can see. Well, way better is, I think, I don't even think it, oh yeah, here you can see it, here you can see the noise before and now with more light samples. Still not enough light samples, but I think if we put this up here, this would not really help. The only thing that would help here is to put up the camera AA here to 5 maybe. We could also try with the diffuse, but I'm not sure if that would help. Let me pause the video here and see if I can get a little bit of better caustics here. Okay, it seems like this is not really working that good in Arnold actually. I mean, I found a tutorial on their web page what we should do. We should use a mesh light, and then we need to add a tag here onto our object and disable upper key. This means then we have no shadows whatsoever, which is kind of rough, I would say. but then we can calculate here some caustics. We need to switch caustics on. We did that already. And to get rid of the noise, we would need to increase here the diffuse samples and then maybe also the camera AA samples to get, as you can see here, diffuse samples 3 still noisy, diffuse sample 6 pretty good, or at least better. So yeah, it's not really working as expected right now, which is kind of sad, I guess. I mean, we could try to do this with assign a standard surface shader to the polygon plane above the polygon mesh. This will represent our light source, decrease the base weight value and increase the emission scale to around 10. I did now some tests on my own, but it did not really work out pretty good. So this was the test that I tried with the light source that we have. So it did not change the light source. As you can see, we have no shadows, no caustics whatsoever. This is kind of sad. And in this light here, I don't think we have here the opportunity to increase the scale or something like that. Spread this as 1, normalize cast shadows. I'm not sure if we need to turn off cast shadows as well for the whole scene, so we would need probably 2 separate lights for the scene, which is also not really good because I want it to work like right out of the box. This is not possible with Arnold, it seems. So yeah, I think we will just simply have no real caustics here. So the only thing that we can do now is to optimize this scene a little bit further, and we will try to up here the diffuse samples to maybe 4 or something like that, so we get a better result for the overall quality. I will delete this sample here. So as you can see, this here was still a little bit noisy. So we will see what this does here now, if this gives us a better result with more diffuse samples. We could also activate here the AOV, so we could see where the noise is really coming from. Or was it diagnostics? No, I think it was just simply here. In the AOVs we could activate that, so we can see like in Vray where the noise is coming from, but that's not necessary. I think we'll just simply look here at the picture view and see how this helped now for the scene. As you can see, renders kind of slow, and the caustics, like I said, are not really working here. This would need some special techniques to get it work with Arnold, which kind of sucks, I think, but it's okay. Okay, we'll just pause the video and show you the final result when it's finished. Okay, so this is what we get here after 3 minutes and 14 seconds. I think it's pretty clean, so that's good. The only thing we're still struggling with is actually the caustics, and I will try to maybe try this method with those light materials. Maybe we can do it like this. Let me just change this quickly here, and we will see if we can make this work. Create Arnold light filter, no surface. I think I just need a standard material here, and no, I don't need any base, I don't need any specular, I actually need emission. Here we go, and we will set the weight to 1. And geometry, anything else that I could change? No, just this. Okay, let me put this here onto the plane. Let's see what we get. Just wanna see if this works and if this makes any difference. Okay, this is just way too less. Let's maybe go to 60 or something like that. This should be, maybe this is too bright now, I'm not sure. We will see. That's also extremely noisy. Let's see if we can have here any samples in the emission tab. I guess we cannot. But I will now give this a tag, Arnold parameters tag, and check off here OpperQ or OpperKey. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, to be honest. And yeah, now we'll just let it render and see if we get any caustics at all now. And if not, we just simply fuck it, because then it's just simply not possible in this scene. Even though this is not completely noisy, we should see here some caustics happening if it's working. Even though it would be completely noisy, but I don't care. Let's see. At least the light is visible now. Let's see if we get anything down here now. Yes, I think we actually do. Yes, we do get some caustics now. Okay. So we definitely have to use a light like this. So with a normal area light this is not working, and you also have to do this here with the tag to disable this. Now the only question is, how do we get rid of the noise? How can I add more samples to this thing? Let me read about this quickly. Okay, already got it. I think I did something wrong. We can delete this material here and then just simply put in a tag here, which is called Arnold Mesh Light. I didn't even know that this exists. And then we can go here with the intensity to 60, I think, and we can also play here with the samples. Back up to 3. This should now be the exact same settings that we had before with the normal area light. But I just want to make sure now that we also get caustics here, which would be kinda nice. So the scene is pretty beautiful. No noise what I can see, but the only thing that is really interesting for me is actually, do we get caustics or not with this method now, or is it only possible with this light material, which would be kind of funny. But we will see in a minute. Okay. Okay. No, this is actually not working, which is kind of funny. If I turn off cast shadows, does this help here with this light? But then I would still need 2 lights in the scene, one that casts shadows and one that does not. One that does only care about the caustics and one that does care about the shadows, which will also be like kinda bad. No, that's not working with this Arnold Mesh Light thingy, which is kinda funny, I guess. Light visible. Okay, let's maybe, I don't know, let's maybe turn this on and try this again. Maybe this makes a difference, I have no clue. I really don't. Probably not. Maybe it does. Let's see. No, still no caustics whatsoever. Okay, so this is not working. It's only working with if you have an emission material on there, which is kind of funny, I guess, because we have no sampling options then. This is kind of funny. Okay. I will just see what I find about this, how I can optimize this the best way. So I will stop the video here and we will see. First of all, let's see. Yeah, here we're getting caustics. Okay, let's see what I can. Okay, it seems like the only thing that we couldn't really do is just simply increase the diffuse samples. That's at least what it says. There is not much what we can do, so we will just try that actually. So let me see. Let's up this here to 6 samples maybe. And let's render this to the picture viewer. And then we might finally get a clean image with caustics and with the light visible on the ceiling and all the other nice stuff. And you can throw this away already because this is so noisy that I want to puke. Alright, so let's try it maybe with, let's try it with 10 here. Maybe let's see if it's still noisy after 10. We also have to go up with the AA probably to clean this up. I'm not sure if this is really the right method, to be honest, but this was the only way how we got some caustics here at least. Because here was nothing, and with all the other tests there was also nothing, but the render time will definitely be badass, I think. like really bad. Not badass, only bad. And this is still noisy. Yes. Okay, what we could do is we could try to find something in between, so 6.6 maybe. Anything else we could try? No, I don't think so. Okay. So let's try this with a little bit more samples in the diffuse and a lot more samples in the AA, and let's see if we would get a clean image there. I don't know why this mesh light actually is not working for caustics. It's kind of weird, I guess. Okay, and this renders like hell. I mean, this will probably take for ages till we have a result here, actually. Yeah. That's no good. Does it come out clean? Well, cleaner, but not completely clean. I think there's still so much noise in there. Okay, so that's also not the method to go, which is kind of bad, I guess. Anything else that we could do? I don't think so, to be honest. There is not really much we can do. I just want to test this again if I turn on this here again, if I still get some caustics or if I'm not. Yeah, it's still working. What the hell? Okay, this is really kind of weird. So I'm getting here something. No matter if this is turned on or not. Let me just delete this tag and let's see what is happening now. I'm not even sure if these are really real caustics or this is just the light shining through or something like that. I don't know. This is like kind of completely weird. Kind of weird. Okay, that is just simply not working at all. And with this method we will have so much noise in the scene, this is just impossible to do it. So I think I will just go back to the last mode that we had that worked without any caustics here, without anything. This is just what worked the best. Yeah. Let's do it like this. Whoops, let's go file save. With 4 samples in the diffuse, I think this was just fine. And here 3 samples right here. This was the best method. Okay, so we did check out Arnold as well. We know what it can do right now, or cannot do it like really good. I mean, of course, we could also try it with a colorful sphere and then see if we get any kind of caustics or whatever. But as you can see, there's also nothing on the ceiling and so on and so on. So Arnold doesn't really like that at all, at least not with a normal area light, which kind of sucks, I think. But 3 minutes and 40 seconds was the render time. Okay, so I think this was the first part of this comparsion. I will close this right here and will now start a second part for this monster challenge here, and now we will really compare the render times. I will give every single render engine in one mode 10 minutes time to see what it can do, and then we will see what it does. Or I will just simply make more images. I think I will go for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes. So we have for every render engine 3 pictures, and then we will see what it does after a certain amount of time. Okay, so I catch you in the next part. Big thanks for listening so far, and I hope you stay tuned and that you are still interested in the second part, where we will now really get down to the nitty-gritty. So catch you soon.